You're a very openly arrogant, pompous human being.
It used to be simple. Strangers on a beach, no food, no trust, no clue who was about to stab them in the back with a smile and a coconut. That was Survivor. A raw, unfiltered chaos machine where social manipulation was the only currency, and getting blindsided was a badge of honor. It didn't hold your hand. It didn't tell you a story. It was the story. And now it's a guided meditation with immunity challenges, a live action LinkedIn retreat, therapy language and tribal council, ukulele music under sad montages, and contestants crying because they learned to love themselves.
It's not something to work around. It's just part of who I am.
Jeff doesn't ask who's getting voted out. He asks, how has this journey helped you grow as a person?
What was happening for you?
What happened? When did the most cutthroat game on television get neutered into a self-help seminar with hidden idols? Let's go back to when Survivor didn't need metaphors or mindfulness, just fire, just fear, just gameplay. Let the paranoia speak for itself. The year is 2000. MTV still played music videos. Kids were burning mixed CDs. CBS just launched a show where regular people got stranded on a beach, starved, lied to each other's faces, and occasionally almost died, all for $1 million. The first winner, Richard Hatch.
The winner of the first Survivor competition is
literally naked for half the season, strutting around like a sunburnt Machiavelli. He lied, schemed, and sunbathed in the nude, and somehow rewrote the rules of television without a single advantage. By season 2, Australian Outback, it was more than a TV show. It was a cultural explosion. Morning talk shows reenacted tribal councils. Kids were fake voting each other out in gym class, and your aunt had a framed photo of Colby like he was the 5th Backstreet Boy. Survivor didn't just invent reality TV strategy, it turned deception into an art form. Before podcasts and YouTube deep dives, there was Susan Hawk telling a man she hoped he'd be eaten by rats. Live, on television.
For the snake to eat the rat.
Early Survivor worked without bells, whistles, or fire tokens hidden in coconuts. No idols, no cryptic notes, just distrust, exhaustion, and a tribe full of people quietly plotting each other's downfall. It was raw. You made a dumb move? Gone. Tried to play nice? Gone. And Jeff Probst, a goddamn island messiah in cargo shorts. For a while, Survivor was perfect. But perfection never lasts. At first, the changes were almost invisible, like hairline fractures in glass. The game still sparkled in the sunlight, but underneath, the cracks were spreading. Then came Cook Islands, dividing tribes by race. Sure, the season had strong players and iconic moments, but it was the first time Survivor chose shock value over storytelling, controversy for the sake of headlines, not game evolution. Still, the show powered forward. Bigger themes, bigger characters. Survivor was leaning into its identity as not just a competition, but a grand spectacle. That momentum carried into Heroes versus Villains. Unquestionably, one of the best seasons. But something shifted beneath the surface. Players weren't just competing anymore. They were cast in roles, heroes, villains, symbols. The game had always been about perception, but now it was about performance. The story needed clear protagonists and antagonists.
He's playing tricks and he's lying and
even if the gameplay didn't always fit neatly into those boxes. Then came season 21, Nicaragua. The Medallion of Power, a twist so convoluted Jeff Probst looked like he was teaching calculus to a group of starving, sleep-deprived contestants. Suddenly, gameplay took a backseat to production puzzles. Survivor became less about trust and betrayal, more about deciphering the rulebook. And Survivor didn't stop. Redemption Island stumbled onto the beach next. On paper, exciting. In practice, it chipped away at Survivor's core rule. When you're out, you're out. Suddenly, a vote didn't mean much. A blindside didn't hit as hard. Consequences came with a maybe. The players tried to adapt and the audience tried to follow. But reality bent until it broke. Wait, didn't this person just get voted out? By the time Caramone aired, the dissonance was undeniable. The cast felt pulled from a reality TV garage sale. Half the players looked like they accidentally walked off a Love Island set. Social strategy took a back seat to meltdowns and sound bites. One of those meltdowns, Brandon Hance mid-challenge dumping the tribe's rice and going full chaos mode before getting pulled from the game. It wasn't gameplay unraveling, it was the show itself starting to crack. It was still Survivor, technically, but it felt like someone was playing with the settings. Slowly, without anyone yelling twist, the game we knew started to warp. Not broken, but bent and bending further. So, what was the moment? The breaking point? The, okay, this isn't even Survivor anymore moment? Easy. Survivor 41. New era, new logo, new tone, same Jeff Probst, but now opening the show, talking to the audience like he's Dora the Explorer. Hey guys, do you want to see a game within a game? No, Jeff, we do not.
18 All-Stars, 1 Survivor.
Survivor 41 was the franchise's full-blown identity crisis, rebranding itself like it had just been acquired by a mindfulness startup. Gameplay took a backseat to vulnerability. Suddenly, strategy was out and story arcs were in as preferably tear-stained. The game didn't evolve, it had a breakdown. And the shift wasn't subtle. No longer about survival or deception, the show leaned hard into emotional narratives. Survivor became less a competition, more a wellness retreat with a $1 million prize. And then came the phrases. Oh God, the phrases.
Just now, but broccoli are just small trees.
Broccoli is just a bunch of small trees. I'm as confused as a goat on AstroTurf. Yes, players actually had to say these lines out loud to activate secret powers. It wasn't a strategy game anymore. It was a scavenger hunt written by an improv troupe. Survivor meets Whose Line Is It Anyway? Except the points didn't matter, and somehow it was less funny. And then came the layers upon layers of twists. Between hidden idols, cursed scrolls, and improv-style advantages, Survivor turned into a tabletop game with bad rules and worse writing. Fans weren't watching strategy. They were watching chaos get rolled on a D20. And let's talk about the shot in the dark. A move so luck-based that even casinos would have said, nah, too random. But the real fracture came with the hourglass twist. Imagine winning a grueling immunity challenge, only to have production hand a player a hammer and let them smash your victory into dust. One choice, no strategy, no counterplay, just arbitrary reversal. It wasn't outplaying or outlasting. It was surviving production's mood swings. At that moment, Survivor stopped rewarding gameplay. It started rewarding dumb luck. And it didn't stop there. Seasons 42 and 43 doubled down. More twists, more backstories, more improvisational curveballs disguised as new layers of gameplay. The new era wasn't just about new twists. It was about a new philosophy. That viewers needed constant novelty, constant emotional validation, constant reminders that this was not just a game. It was important and transformational and special. But in doing so, the authenticity that made Survivor magic was lost.
I'm trying to think what's going to be best for me.
Instead of rooting for the best strategist or the scrappiest underdog, viewers were now asked to root for the best journey, even if that player barely survived the format. The Survivor we knew, the one built on cunning, risk, and timing, got lost somewhere between the flashbacks and the fire tokens. Let's talk audience reaction, because if there's one thing more consistent than Jeff Probst's enthusiasm, it's fans roasting the show online. Across Reddit, YouTube, and TikTok, fans are saying the same thing, but with increasing exhaustion.
Dare you wash your clothes in our drinking water, BB? Now how are we gonna survive?
Survivor used to be about people, now it's about protocol. The consensus? It feels less like a game and more like a complicated role-playing module run by someone who just discovered narrative therapy. Memes show Jeff with laser eyes saying, drop your buffs and your emotional baggage. Others show contestants trying to remember if they even have a vote this week, like it's a quiz show where the answer key keeps changing. Reddit threads read like RPG rulebooks. Viewers aren't strategizing anymore. They're trying to decode production's fever dreams. And the sincerity? Oh, it's off the charts. Every episode is drenched in motivational speeches. Players say things like, win or lose, I found my inner warrior. This journey has been the most healing experience of my life. Okay, cool. But did you remember to vote? We went from Richard Hatch playing naked psychological warfare to people thanking each other for the opportunity to grow emotionally. What once celebrated cunning and social manipulation now rewards introspection and emotional openness. Strategic ruthlessness has been swapped for therapeutic vulnerability, often framed within the soft glow of moral approval and inspirational sound bites. Even Jeff isn't immune. He now opens tribal council with open-ended therapy prompts. Tell me how this vote reflects your personal evolution. Dude, it's a vote, not a TED Talk, and therein lies the rub. Survivor was supposed to be messy, uncomfortable, human.
And it's just chaos. Chaos.
Now it's trying to be respectable, and nothing kills drama faster than respectability. It's predictable. It's preachy. It's as overproduced as a Netflix docuseries, narrated by a drone. And we feel it. The moments that should shock us are telegraphed by slow motion, sweeping music cues, and heartstring tugging testimonials before the twist even lands. The music swells on cue. The edits guide your emotions like it's a Hallmark movie. You don't feel tension anymore. You feel like you're being directed through a curated Instagram reel of human growth.
These 18 strangers have agreed to be abandoned and left to fend for.
Casting isn't about people anymore. It's about tropes and tropical clothing. The resilient single mom, the quirky superfan, the motivational speaker, the soft-spoken guy who opens up in week 3, we've met them all before, and that's the thing. Survivor used to reveal people. Now it designs them. Can Survivor be saved? Honestly, maybe. It doesn't need another twist. It doesn't need more idols or advantages or rice negotiations that feel like hostage exchanges. It needs silence, simplicity, hunger. Real humans doing messy, beautiful, petty things. Bring back the rawness, the social tension, the paranoia, the lies whispered under moonlight, the panicked glances before tribal council, the crushing silence when someone realizes they just got blindsided. Remember when lying on national television was a valid strategy? Now people are voted out for being too closed off emotionally. We need less authenticity theater and more authentic gameplay.
You came out here 11 years ago to play this game.
Bring back the game. Strip away the clutter, the redundant twists, the scripted arcs, the emotional scaffolding, and let strategy breathe again. Survivor was great because it exposed people, because it tested character without forcing a character arc. Now it's busy trying to fix them. It's producing redemption stories before the fall even happens. Let it be wild again. Let it be cruel. Let it be real, because Survivor doesn't need to evolve into a life coach. It just needs to survive. Maybe the greatest twist would be no twist at all. Just a beach, just fire, just fear, just Survivor. Imagine it. A season with no twists, just 16 people on an island, trying not to get voted out.
39 days, 16 people, 1 survivor.
Let the dynamics breathe. Let the strategy unfold without interference. Let the audience feel the tension that made this show iconic in the first place. Strip it all back. No trauma edits, no scripted confessionals, no shot in the dark. Just one rule: Outwit, Outplay, Outlast. Everything else, optional. If you made it this far, congrats. You survived the script. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Survivor's rise and hilarious downfall, hit that subscribe button like it's a hidden immunity idol. Seriously, don't wait for tribal council. Just click it. And hey, now it's your turn. What season do you think officially marked the downfall of Survivor? Let me know in the comments. Was it the medallion of power, the broccoli phrase, or the moment Jeff Probst looked straight at the camera and said, "Drop the 4, keep the 1. I'll be reading with my torch still lit."